Welcome again to the old principal English instructional programs. Well, 我就是老校长, and we tell some stories, sometimes my stories, sometimes other people's stories, sometimes off the internet, while I get the stories from a lot of different places. Today's lesson is my own story on biology, birds, and work. Biology, birds, and work. This is a story from when I was studying in university. So, as we begin, let's listen to the story as my wife reads it, and then we'll be right back.
Story 263, Biology, Birds, and Work. Biology was a required subject for all college students. The biology course also included a weekly biology lab. All students had to spend 3 hours a week outside of the class dissecting pickled frogs and using microscopes. My lab period was from 9 to 12 Sunday mornings. I wasn't too energetic during those labs because the night before I had no sleep. Early Saturday evening, I went out on a date with my girlfriend. After the date, there wasn't much time until midnight when I started my work as night watchman, patrolling the campus and its buildings. I finished night watching at 6 o'clock Sunday morning, just in time to hurry over to the cafeteria to begin working there. By 9 a.m., I had to be in biology lab. Needless to say, I was very tired by noontime, but I could not rest because I had to rush over to the cafeteria to work some more. By 1:30 p.m., I shuffled back to my room, closed the curtains, and conked out. The most fun part of biology class was the springtime requirement to watch birds and make a list of those seen, the date, and the place. A number of us decided to do all of our bird watching in one day by traveling south about 200 miles to a famous national wildlife refuge. Since this was a budget tour, we packed our own food and brought our own sleeping bags. Friday night, we set up camp, ate, and turned in early. Before daylight on Saturday morning, we were up and ready to begin bird watching. Malheur Wildlife Refuge is really an arid wasteland area, but there are lots of canals and some lakes that make little oases of green. Many migrating birds pass by this area every spring, and avid bird watchers have no problem spotting more than 100 species in one day. As I recall, we spotted almost 100 on that Saturday.
Welcome back. Biology was a required subject, required 必修课, okay, a required subject for all college students. I had to take it, my wife had to take it, she wasn't my wife then, so we all took biology. Of course, biology also included a weekly biology lab. 每星期这个生物课的这个实验室. So you had to go to the biology lab, and it was usually 3 hours, and you had to do something during those 3 hours. Going on, all the students had to spend 3 hours a week outside of class，这是课外的，就是在这个实验室 ，OK， dissecting pickled frogs and using 显微镜 ，OK, microscopes 显微镜。Now, it just happens that the 3 hours we spent in dissecting 解剖 what? Pickled frogs. Well, you know what a frog is. A frog is 青蛙. But what is a pickled frog? Now, I must explain this probably because it will take a second or two to figure out. Pickle, a pickle is 泡菜, right? It's a pickle. Now, if you have a pickled frog, so what does that mean? That means that the frog is put in some kind of liquid, 是一种这个酒精呢, so that it 不会腐烂掉, okay? So you can cut the frog up and 解剖, dissect it. Okay, so we had to do that. Does that sound like exciting things? Would you like to spend your time cutting up frogs? Well, I can tell you that the ladies didn't enjoy that. The ladies seemed not to enjoy it, and the frogs smelled 有一点味道. So it was not the most fun. But this, for 3 hours, we had to do that. Let's go on. My lab period, okay, was 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock Sunday mornings. Sunday morning. That's when I had to go to the 生物实验室, and I had to study. It was just like class. But it says here, I wasn't too energetic. 我不是很活力. Okay? Why wasn't I so energetic? I wasn't energetic because the night before I had no sleep. 前一个晚上我都没有睡觉. So, excuse me, Saturday night, you didn't sleep? Why didn't you sleep? I mean, most of the time, you're supposed to be sleeping, right? Saturday night? I will tell you why. And that is today's story. For instance, go ahead. Early Saturday evening, okay, I went out on a date with my girlfriend. Okay, 我出去 what? 跟我的女朋友约会. I went out on a date, 约会, with my girlfriend. No problem. That was early Saturday evening. No problem. But, going on, after the date, which usually stopped at about 10:30, there wasn't much time until midnight. So 10:30 to midnight. You figure out, how long is that? An hour and a half. And then I started my work. I started to work. What kind of work do you do at midnight? 半夜到底要做什么呢? I was a night watchman. 守夜的一个人. So what did I have to do? I patrolled 巡逻在 学校的这是校园 okay? And it's buildings. I actually went into buildings. I actually had a huge 大传钥匙. I had all the keys to this school. So I was just walking around the campus, patrolling 巡逻, okay, because I was a night watchman. Now, what do night watchmen do? I mean, why do you have night watchmen? There must be a reason going on. I finished night watching at 6 o'clock. Well, I think maybe in a different story I say that I night watch to look for bad people and also in case it's there may be a fire or so on. So anyway, I finished night watching at 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Okay, 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Okay, that's when I finished. Just in time to hurry over to the cafeteria. Okay, well, so I worked from midnight, that's 12 o'clock, till 6 o'clock in the morning. 刚刚好, just in time, 刚好那时候, to hurry over to the cafeteria. Cafeteria, 这个食堂. So I hurried over to the cafeteria to begin my working there, to begin my work. So here I work from midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning. I hurry over, 匆匆跑过去, okay, literally, almost running to the cafeteria to begin my work there. Going on. By 9 a.m., I had to be in biology lab. So from 6 to 9, I had to work. But before 9 o'clock, I had to go over to the biology building. 有一个大楼是叫生物 okay, 生物. And so I had to go over there. And I had to be in biology lab, 这个实验室, 生物实验室. I had to be there by 9 o'clock. Going on. Needless to say, 不用说了, 不用说了. I was very tired by noontime. Yeah, 中午的时候我已经够累. But I could not rest. When I finished biology lab, I could not rest. Why? Because I had to rush over to the cafeteria, 要匆匆过去, 这个食堂 cafeteria, and work some more. I worked at the meal times. So I had to run over there and go back to work. Going on. By 1:30 p.m., I shuffled back to my room. Okay, by 1:30 p.m., that's in the afternoon, I shuffled back to my room, closed the curtains, and conked out. Okay, by 1:30, I was tired, really tired. I shuffled 拖只脚. Okay, shuffle. It gives the idea that I'm going slower by this time. Back to my room, I closed the curtains, 就关上这个窗帘了. And then I conked out. Now, what does conked out mean? That means I went to sleep. Now let's look at that again. By 1:30 p.m. I shuffled back to my room, closed the curtains, 窗帘, and conked out. Conked out simply means I went to sleep. This is 是一种术语的说法, okay? Conked out. Going on. The most fun part of biology class, as far as I was concerned, the most fun part of biology class was what? In the springtime. Well, actually, we did two things in the springtime because there was a requirement. This is the requirement. The requirement was that we had 观鸟, to watch birds. We actually did two things. We collected flowers, 收集这个野生的花. Okay, so we did do that. We collected flowers and we had to identify them. We had to tell the professor what kind of flower this. We did that. We also watched birds. Watching birds meaning that 我们需要观鸟. And we had to make a list of those seen, the date, and the place. So you not only had to watch the bird, you had to identify it. 你要确定是哪一种类, okay? And you had to write down where you saw it, and you had to write down the place you saw it. For many years, I had all sorts of books, and 我有很多记载, a lot of records of all the different birds I watched. A number of us decided to do all of our bird watching in one day by traveling south about 200 miles to a famous national wildlife refuge. A number of things are in this, okay? First of all, we decided, a number of us, 我们几个人, decided that we would do our bird watching, all of our bird watching in one day. See, most of the people did a little today and they a little the next day and so on and so forth. We said, we're going to do it all in one day. One day. So, we traveled, 我们的周旅行, about 200 miles south. So, how many is that? That's maybe, maybe 320 kilometers, 320 kilometers south of our school to a famous wildlife refuge. Now, okay, 有名的, okay, famous. Wildlife, okay, 野生动物的保护区. Okay, so this is a famous wildlife refuge. Now, this place was a very interesting place. The first time I went there, I was quite surprised, and I will explain to you why I was very surprised. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but I was surprised because the place, this national, 这个是国立的, 这个国家的, okay, wildlife refuge was very strange. Going on. Since this was a budget tour. Now, when we say budget tour, we mean that we had to save money. That means that this is 是一种说法 in English. That means, oh, this is a budget tour. This means this trip, we are not going to spend a lot of money. Okay, so this is a budget tour. We're not this trip that we're going to take to this National Wildlife Refuge. We're not going to spend a lot of money. We packed our own food and brought our own sleeping bags. When it says we packed our own food, we bought the food, 我们就包起来, packed it. Sometimes pack means to carry too. That's okay. Both meanings are okay here. And then we carried our own sleeping bag. We were not going to stay in a hotel or a motel or any other place. We're going to just sleep in 睡袋, sleeping bags. Friday night, we set up camp, ate, and turned in early. Friday night, so Friday afternoon, we're traveling down there, and we get down to this National Wildlife Refuge. We set up camp, okay, 扎营, and then we ate, and it says here, very strange, we turned in early. Now, what does it mean when you turn in early? 这是专用的说法. When a person says, I think I will turn in early, it simply means that I think I will go to sleep early. When we say we want to turn in early, that means we want to go to sleep early. So, before daylight on Saturday morning. Now, Saturday morning is the day that we're going to birdwatch. We're going to watch birds all day long. So, Saturday morning, we were up and ready to begin bird watching. Okay? Very early in the morning, we're up and we're ready to begin bird watching. Now, Malheur Wildlife Refuge, that was the name of the place, this National Wildlife Refuge. So remember what refuge, 保护区 wildlife, 野生动物保护区 is really an arid wasteland. What is an arid wasteland? Okay, arid is 干旱. Okay, arid. Arid, 干旱. And wasteland is, it's it's almost like a desert. 荒原的地. 荒原的地. It's not a very place. In fact, it's I think I like to say it's like a wilderness or almost like a desert. It's not very much there. So you say, birds? Excuse me, where are you going to find birds down there? But there were lots of canals, 水沟, lots of canals, and some lakes. Okay, 也有这个湖泊, okay, and little oases of green. An oasis of green is 绿洲. So here's this 荒原地, this wasteland. It's arid, it's dry, it's 干旱. It's not a good place, but then there's little pieces of green here and there, 绿洲, and this is where the birds love to be. Many migrating birds pass this area every spring. What is a migrating bird? Well, you know that many birds go south in the for winter and north for the summer. So they go south for the winter and north for the summer. Okay, so the travel from south to north or north to south is called migrating. Remember, if you immigrate, mean, right? So it's the same word. Okay, many migrating birds pass by this area every spring, and avid bird watchers. What is an avid bird watcher? A person who loves to watch birds. Okay, a bird watcher, 观鸟者, okay, they don't have any problem spotting. Spotting means finding, to look at, 看到 more than 100 species in one day. 超过100个种类，100种类的鸟。One day, 100 species. That was our goal. When we went, that was our goal. Going on. As I recall, we spotted almost 100 on that Saturday. It was just about 100. We were quite happy because our teacher only asked us to identify what? Identify 20. And here we found 100. Well, there's more to the story, but I'll have to share it later because we've run out of time. We have an email address. Our email address is theoldprincipal@gmail.com. We do have a website. 我们也有一个网站 www.theoldprincipal.org. Well, I'm going to be sharing some more of this later on, but for now, I'll have to say goodbye, and I hope that you'll join us next time too.